Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gifts, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, glad to have you here. Oh look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure? It's cultist coffee. What makes it cultist coffee? I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it. Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to my home. Welcome to the office, and welcome to the morning grind. I'm Heath, and I'll be your host this morning. Hope everybody is doing great. Oh, I didn't take, I got one thing right here. All right. I'm still a little sick. I'm going to take another, take a Dayquil here. I think I'm getting over it though, but better safe than sorry. It's sitting right here. I got a lot of work to do today. Yesterday, basically all I did, everything takes longer than you expect it to. Yesterday, I worked for like 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. After the morning grind and everything, I put about 10 and a half hours yesterday working on Table Talk. I was supposed to be clipping things and then also making up a instructional video for about how to clip the videos from a technical perspective and also what I was doing. Shot all of that and then realized it actually didn't record. For some reason, the recording didn't actually take. And so I lost an hour and a half worth of work there. Now, I did get the video edited, but I was trying to record it so I could show somebody else what I was doing. Well, that didn't work. So I had to fully start that all over yesterday. But need to get that out. So let's see who all is here and what is happening. Good morning. Good morning, Phaser Wrist and Lynn and Charlie. Good morning. Good morning. Zero the Blade. Good morning. BGD. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, James and Robert and Sable Phoenix. Good morning. Jason. Good morning. Robert says the GPT-4 maker. The GPT-4 maker. Are you talking about like the make a GPT is quite superior? Okay. Sable says, after having a story consultation with Adrian, who is Phaser Wrist here, I have to promote and recommend it as a very helpful to anyone struggling with your story. Fantastic. I'm glad that went very well. See, Robert says, I created a prompt only version of my game using the prompt I created when GPT came out last year. And it worked well, I guess. Sable says he's very generous and goes step by step to help plug your characters and events and concepts into a plot outline, as you'll find in Stomping Kittens. And any questions that you might have about the industry, publishing, whatever, it's all a great resource. Take advantage of it. So reach out to Adrian. Let us know what the best way is to contact you if somebody else wants to do a story consultation. I know you would put it up on Facebook. But is that the best way still to get in touch with you if you're trying to, or if you put that up on your blog? I am completely failing NaNoWriMo. Like, I would love to have written yesterday, but I had to get all this stuff done for Table Talk, and now sudden 10 and a half hours later, what am I doing? So we'll see. I also need, one thing I need is a definition of an end for a lot of these things. That's very important, I found. Knowing when the end of a project is. And I used to be really big on that, and I still am. But all of a sudden, I realized as I have been readjusting all of my branding and things to go forward, that I've got some eternal projects, and that's not good. That's not good. So maybe next week sometime, we're going to go through projects and what's coming up next and plans for world domination and how to get stuff done. And putting limits on some of them are going to be important. Like, how do I know when Table Talk is done? This is a little bit different because this is a morning stream that's supposed to be like a check-in, daily stream anyway. But something like, how do I know when I have completed the Table Talk project? Well, I need some benchmarks to know that, it seems like. I feel like. Same way with the cultists. Like, the cultist is interesting because that I know when it's done. Like, when is the cultist done? There's some very defined things that happen, and when those things happen, then that project is finished. Which, like, Table Talk doesn't have now. So I'm going to have to include that on Rabivania and Theophany as well. Like, how do I know when this is finished? So good morning over in the UK. Good morning. Good morning. Offie Matrix. Good morning. Cream soda for Jason this morning. Let's see. Oh, you sent me the link. Oh, let me see. Is that something we could look at here? Oh, I see. I do have this. Hang on. Okay, let me look at that in just a second. Is that something we can share? I'll look at it here if it's something we can share here. If that's like if I can bring up your share link. If not, I'll look at it afterwards because I'm very curious as to what we're doing right here. Okay, so right now, this afternoon, this is Sunday, right? This afternoon, my second conversation with Cameron is going to re-air on the Table Talk channel. So that's in about 3 hours right here. My conversation with Cameron, Good and Evil and Storytelling. That was a great conversation. That's over on the Table Talk channel. I just put the link in there. So you can go over here and hit the notification. Hit the notification button if you would like. I'll be there in 3 hours in the chat. This is a pre-recorded one because it's my second conversation. So this is still an early conversation with Cameron being re-released over on the Table Talk channel. And of course, please do subscribe over there as well. And we will keep going. Keep going with that. No power outages this time on this discussion. So, all right. Oh, we can share it. Okay, well, that's fantastic. Then we'll take a look at it then. Okay. the cultists as well. We continued to bring in more subscribers over on the cultist channel. The cultist, like I was saying, I believe is going to be the next project after the trial of St. Gabriel. So again, the branding experiment, we kind of slowed down on our Table Talk subscribers. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm going to figure that out. But the cultists, however, seems to be doing pretty well. So we've gotten 241 subscribers in the last 28 days. So yesterday we had 25 more people come in to the cultist channel. So if you are not over there, the cultist, that's my web show. And I was trying to come up with a way, like a model for creativity, for creating stories. In some type of sustainable way. So the cultists, this is up. We got several videos up there. I'm going to post a few more. I've got my producer's commentary. If you want behind the scenes, I need to upload Brianna's director's commentary for the first episode. We got the first 3 episodes up there in the trailer, and the Join Our Cult. We might have to take a look at that later, because that's our in-universe ad. That's an in-universe video that the cultists made to advertise their cult. So if you're, I'm pleased that one brought in another 25 people yesterday. So I think people are watching and people are enjoying it, and I think it's something we can do with it. Something we can do something with. Maybe come up with some type of sustainable model for creativity and creating web shows. So there is the Discord server. And then I didn't get to work on the trial of St. Gabriel yesterday because I was working on Table Talk all the time. But we've got 13 followers over on the trial of St. Gabriel now, which is fantastic. This is my dark story of the Christmas massacre, and we need to launch this in about, I've said a week and a half, for a few days now, but we need to launch this. This is Sunday. It's not going to be this week, but it needs to be the week after that for sure. I'll be getting on that this afternoon. I got a few more things I got to do with Table Talk. But hopefully that's not more than like 3 hours worth of work. We will see. All right, let's take this down. Let's go over to our morning reading. The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. It's not loading. There we go. Well, not that. All right. First, sacrament. I got my fish do not drink tea mug in honor of Rob for the cultists. Fish do not drink tea right here. So, fill up with a little bit more. I got Coke Zero this morning. Didn't have time to make coffee. I was actually up late working on the cultist clips, the Table Talk clips, but I wanted to get the instructional video done. All right, let's breathe and sip. 2 deep inhales, complete exhales, and then take a sip of your favorite beverage. So here we go. And sip. All right, Experiencing the Self. The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Experiencing the self. Have you ever wondered why the slang terms for intoxication are so demolition-oriented? Stoned, smashed, hammered. It's because they're talking about the ego. It's the ego that gets blasted, waxed, plastered. We demolish the ego to get to the self. The margins of the self touch upon the divine ground, meaning the mystery, the void, the source of infinite wisdom and consciousness. Dreams come from the self. Ideas come from the self. When we meditate, we access the self. When we fast, we pray. When we pray, we go on a vision quest. It's the self we're seeking. When the dervish whirls, when the yogi chants, when the sadhu mutilates his flesh, when penitents crawl 100 miles on their knees, when the Native Americans pierce themselves in the sun dance, when suburban kids take ecstasy and dance all night at a rave, they're seeking the self. When we deliberately alter our consciousness in any way, we're trying to find the self. When the alcoholic collapses in the gutter, that voice tells him, I'll save you, comes from the self. When the alcohol collapses in the gutter, the voice that tells him, I'll save you, comes from the self. The self is our deepest being. The self is united to God. The self is incapable of falsehood. The self, unlike the divine ground that permeates it, like the divine ground that permeates it, is ever growing and ever evolving. The self speaks for the future. That's why the ego hates it. The ego hates the self because when we seat our consciousness in the self, we put the ego out of business. The ego doesn't want us to evolve. The ego runs the show right. It likes things just the way they are. The instinct that pulls us toward art is the impulse to evolve, to learn, to heighten, and to elevate our consciousness. The ego hates this because the more we become, the less we need the ego. The ego hates it when the awakening writer sits down at the typewriter. The ego hates it when the aspiring painter steps up before the easel. The ego hates it because it knows that these souls are awakening to a call, and that call comes from a plane nobler than the material one, and from a source deeper and more powerful than the physical. The ego hates the prophet and the visionary because they propel the race forward. The ego hates Socrates and Jesus, Luther and Galileo, Lincoln and JFK and Martin Luther King. The ego hates artists because they are the pathfinders and bearers of the future, because each one dares, in James Joyce's phrase, to forge in the smithy of my soul the uncreated consciousness of my race, conscious of the race. Such evolution is life-threatening to the ego. It reacts accordingly. It summons its cunning, marshals its troops. The ego produces resistance and attacks the awakening artist. All right. Let's go over here and we bring up Chat GPT. Let's see. Now, this tells me for our third sacrament that the city of Paris, Lutetia, the city of Paris was originally a Roman city named Lutetia. For our thought about the Roman Empire this morning. Always good to conclude with a thought about the Roman Empire. All right. Let's see. Okay, so this would be neat if we could take a look at what Robert's doing. So let me come over here to the Discord server. So Robert says, this is what Robert's been working on. Let me take this down and share the screen, and let's see what he's been able to do. Okay, so he was able to share his GPT with me by a link. Oh, I didn't need to bring this up on the screen. There we go. So Robert's been working on a major project. You've probably seen him report in in the mornings about his progress trying to create a text-based adventure game, which I played. I played a couple of test runs of that was using text GPT as a base, and he was working really hard on this and had come up with different ways to do this through using JavaScript and the storing of, I mean, you've probably seen his different, I don't understand it all, but persistence has been a major problem, getting it to understand what's in your inventory so things stay in your inventory, keeping your character consistent. This is, come to think of it, it's kind of the same kind of thing with character consistency, which is getting better in the art stuff, in the AI art side of things. But over here, memory, getting it to remember things. Robert was working on a whole bunch of workarounds to get all of that we need to have preserved in a text-based adventure game into this. But now, okay, he's built this out using the new, make a GPT function as well that we were looking at yesterday. So this is Children of the Grave. The Grave Master guides your RPG adventure in Children of the Grave. What I want to do is press start. Okay, so let's just type start then. Message Children of the Grave. Let's say start. I've thought of some different things that I want to test with Chat GPT. Okay, Children of the Grave version 1.0, but like I said, Robert's been much deeper into this, so we will see. Because he knows a lot more of its capabilities. So the Children of the Grave version 1.0, you find yourself standing in the first room of the afterlife at the ruined temple. In the underworld plane Tartarus, a vast wasteland with yellowish sky and vast mountains. Consumed by hellish sandstorms and other winds, dark magics, ferocious monsters, dragons, celestial and otherwise, high magic beings and other entities of pure energy and form, angels and powerful demons. Please choose a game mode from the following menu. Play as Morticia, the goddess of death, the Bone Drake, the White Lady, level 50 assassin, fighter, and necromancer goddess. 750,000 XP, 120 hit points, plus 1d20 hit points. Play as Suzerain, a human male, level 25 knight of Atenus, the god of war. Atenus is the god of war, the War Drake, and has several holy orders of knights who serve him. 250,000 XP, 80 hit points, plus d20 hit points. Or create a character and play as a party of 7 adventurers. All right, I'm going to play as Suzerain. As you command, you shall play as Suzerain. The air is thick with the scent of brimstone and ash as you, Suzerain, awaken in the ruined temple of Tartarus. The yellow sky looms overhead, swirling with the winds that carry the distant tormented souls. Stand grinds under your boots, and the remnants of once holy altars lay scattered, desecrated by the wars of gods long past. This temple, now a mere shadow of its former glory, serves as a grim reminder of the eternal battle between power and downfall. Your journey begins here with the goal to navigate the treacherous terrain of Tartarus, raise an army of the dead, and ultimately reclaim Hades from the clutches of Arthurus. Okay, so we're in a ruined temple. The temple's walls are sketched with the stories of forgotten walls. The ceiling open to the tempestuous sky above. Statues of ancient deities, now defaced, stand watch over crumbling pews and fractured dais. We got a rusted sword, half buried in the sand, and a tattered banner bearing the emblem of Atenus, the god of war. So we can go north, south, east, west, or down, leading into the temple's crypts, which is very classic directions for text-based adventure games. So I guess that's my XP right there. I got 250,000 of 1 million. Score 0 of 1. This is turn 1. Morticia, though not present, has ensured your entry into this realm was not unaided. As her chosen knight, you carry the burden of her expectations and fate in the underworld. Choose your next action wisely, for each step alters the delicate balance between the worlds of the living and the dead. Search for treasure. So, Robert, you want to let us know how you did this? So you said you were able to do this by uploading text documents, like I was doing with Rabivania yesterday. So instead of all the coding, you gave it instructions in the prompt about how to behave, but then also in order to get the world information, you uploaded a PDF. Is that the way this worked? Robert says, oh, nice. So this is going well. You scour the ruined temple, your eyes adjusting to the dim light as you search for any sign of hidden treasure or forgotten relics that could aid you in the quest. The temple, though in ruins, still holds the secret pockets where priests and worshippers might have hidden their valuables from pillaging marauders or desecrating forces. As you sift through the rubble, the cracks. I want to try a couple of experiments with just getting it to, read and inquire about PDFs, because I think I was trying to do several different things at once yesterday when I was trying this out, because I didn't know what it was, so I was just trying a bunch of different things. But I really want to get it to understand, make sure it does really understand material from the world by querying that PDF. So I want to try a couple of things with that, even just in standard GPT-4. And then I also wasn't clear how it was using the rules. It seemed, in my case, it seemed to naturally make it more like a text-based adventure game, even though I specifically asked it to use the 5th edition rules. So I'm not sure how that happened behind the scenes. So I want to try more with just the 5th edition rules, just querying, and then just the structure, seeing if it will help me make a choose your own adventure. It turned into a more choose your own adventure game. I may have said text-based adventure, but it was using more of a choose your own adventure kind of storyline. But actually, that's okay. I was thinking about that, especially for something like Rabavania that's made for a bunch of different kinds of audiences. If you were, I had ideas about doing some type of choose your own adventure game kind of thing for Rabavania, and that's probably better for a younger audience anyway. Like, I'm thinking if I were playing with like my 5-year-old nephew, or reading with a 5-year-old nephew. Okay, what do you want to do? Don't leave things so open-ended. The fact that there were certain questions, there were certain targeted questions there, like, okay, what do you want to do? And here's 3 choices. That kind of thing would work well for them. And of course, you could, I want to do this. Okay, make a roll. Did you succeed or fail? I think you could add that in. And I do want to check out, I didn't get to because I was working on all the table talk clips yesterday, but we had the recommendation. Oh, I forget who was the recommended. One particular system to look at. So we do need to look at that too. So you sift through the rubble near the collapsed altar. Your hand brushes against a loose stone. With a firm push, the stone gives way, revealing a small cavity in the wall. Inside, you discover a trove of items, a pouch containing 30 gold coins, minted in the visage of the old gods, an ornate dagger with a handle shaped like a dragon, its eyes set with small rubies. The blade emanates a faint magical aura suggesting enchantment. A leather-bound book with metal clasps appearing to be a tome of ancient lore or spells. You have added the following to your inventory, it says. Gold coins 30, enchanted dagger, ancient tome. Okay, let's go down to the crypts then. You feel the weight of the findings in your backpack. Draw the dagger and walk down into the crypts. We'll see what it says. So yeah, the prompt is. But what about the world building stuff? You need to write specific instructions. Yeah, I did. That was some nice stuff. Hey, John. Good morning. Okay, with the newly found dagger in hand, its blade glinting with a magical light, you approach the entrance to the crypts. The stone steps leading down are worn from age and passage of countless. This reminds me of NetHack. A little bit. See, I see. One of the reasons this fascinates me, and of course, obviously, but even 6 months ago, 6 or 7 months ago, we were looking at World Anvil, and I love World Anvil. I think it can make a really great looking site, but there's a lot of work to do in World Anvil. So if I wanted to do a Rabavania and Theophany website, there's a lot of work to do to put all of that into a really nice site. And I think that having some information there as a home base for Rabavania and Theophany would be really neat. But the problem with that was that it's not executable. And even then I was having the problem with that. I was like, I'm writing, of course, I'm writing the book, which would be a PDF and then a physical book when we'll get it printed eventually. But the problem with that was the website doesn't do much. I really want it to connect to something. Now, see, 10 years ago, that'd be fantastic, or less. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, man, I'm gonna have this really cool wiki-like website for my world that's got all the cool timelines and the maps and things like that. Absolutely. And then I can use that as a reference in a role-playing game. But now I really want to do something. So that's one of the reasons that we were looking at something like Alchemy. Alchemy had the text that's there inside. And Alchemy seemed to be, and so a couple of the other VTTs had this as well, that I want to be able to sit here and play this game and use this information to play this game and experience this world. And so those were a little bit better to me. I was like, well, this is integrated with a virtual tabletop. Now there is character controls and stuff in World Anvil, but you know, the VTT playing stuff was better in other places. And like, well, if you build the world in here, then at least you can actually sit down and you can play something with the world. But it's still, you still have to kind of drive it. And now all of a sudden, like I said, everything seems to all of a sudden be emerging with the technology that we've got. That all of a sudden it's coming, you know, you wait around 6 months and then all of a sudden the large language models are actually in a situation where you can hand the GPT the world book, hand your large language model your world book, and say, I want to play a game in this. And basically that's happening. So we've got something that's basically executable here. John says NetHack is a 1E simulator dungeon crawler originally from the 80s. It has a command prompt line like alphanumeric only UI. Phaser Risk says, can you do random things if you like come across a statue in a room, then bash the statue into pieces just to see what happens? I think you can. Let's see what goes on here. In the newly found dagger in hand, its blade glinting with magical light, you approach the entrance to the crypts. The stone steps leading down are worn from age and the passage of countless souls, both living and departed. You take a deep breath, feeling the cold, still air of underground brush against your face. Descending into the crypts, the shadows grow long and deep, clinging to the edges of your vision. The silence here is profound, broken only by the soft sound of your footsteps and the silent, mournful wail that seems both far and near. So in this case, do I have something I could try to break? So the crypts of the Forgotten Kings. The somber place is lined with the tombs of rulers whose names have been lost to time. The air is thick with the dust of ages, and the walls are inscribed with runes that speak of old rituals. And I always say the wrong word whenever that comes up. It never fails. Inscribed with runes that speak of old rituals and the sacred silence. Every so often you pass by an open tomb, the bones within undisturbed, adorned with rusty chains, and skeletal hands clutching the sword that have not seen battle. Skeletal hands clutching swords that have not seen battles in centuries. So we've got an open sarcophagus revealing a king's skeletal remains, a jeweled crown resting atop its skull, and an ancient shield popped against the wall, its emblem still visible beneath the tarnish. There are ghostly echoes. Your quest is urgent, but respect. Well, what if we disrespect the dead? So you want to just see? So what if I do something random? What if I destroy the king? I'm doing the exact opposite here. I'm going to destroy the king's tomb and scatter his bones. Let's just see what happens. I've got a couple of other experiments that I want to run with. Maps here. So we'll do one. We'll see what happens if I do something. Your actions carry the weight of grim determination as you approach the sarcophagus. With an irreverent grip, you seize the jeweled crown from the skull of the long-forgotten king. The bones rattle a hollow protest as you scatter them across the floor, desecrating the peace of the crypt in search of power or secret compartments that might have been hidden from sacrilegious hands. And as the last of the bones scatter to the ground, a heavy silence falls upon the crypt. From the disturbed tomb, a ghostly figure rises, a spectral king. His presence is a cold wind that saps the warmth of the air. His hollow eyes fix upon you, and a voice like the rustling of dry leaves fills the chamber. Who dares disturb the slumber of King Thalor, sovereign of the Forgotten Realms? Speak now and face the judgment of the ancients. So, jeweled crown. I've got his jeweled crown, it says, in my possession. So the crypt now bears the mark of violation. Disturbed dust twirling in the air, the sarcophagus opened and desolate, its sacred rest disturbed. The scattered remains of King Thalor, the jeweled crown in your possession, and an ancient shield against the wall. I did discover a ghostly king, so I got 20 points for discovering a ghostly king. A restless spirit of the king confronts you, seeking retribution or perhaps closure. This encounter may prove to be a test of your resolve or an opportunity to gain an ally, or a curse in the afterlife. How do I respond? The virtual intelligence still has some work to do on its adjectives. Yeah, maybe I should have just tied his shoelaces together or something. Well, yeah, I mean, okay, we'll just go one more. Attack. Maybe this enchanted dagger will help me out. Attack the spectral king. With the enchanted dagger. How about we scream insults and lunge out in a fierce. See, this one isn't playing it in choose your own adventure style. In a fierce attack against the spectral king with the enchanted dagger. Oh yeah, that could be. That could be. With the enchanted dagger clutched tightly, you unleash a tirade of insults at the spectral king, challenging the very legacy he left behind in the mortal world. Your voice echoes through the crypt, a bold provocation against the silence that once reigned. The specter of King Thalor recoils as if struck by the force of your words. Then, with ethereal composure, he floats above his scattered bones, preparing to face your onslaught. You lunge forward, the dagger's ruby eyes. It did have ruby dragon's eyes, right? That's right. Flashing with malevolent light, and thrust it into the apparition. The blade meets resistance as if the ghost's ethereal form has momentarily found substance. A flash of arcane energy bursts from the point of contact, and the king's spectral form shudders with the impact of your assault. His mournful wail fills the crypt, a sound that tugs the edges of your soul. In the aftermath, the king's spirit begins to dissipate, breaking into shards of ghostly light that fade into the darkness of the crypts. You stand victorious, though the air now feels heavier, the unseen eyes of the afterlife bearing witness to your deed. The crypt is filled with dissipating remnants of spectral light, the disturbing dust slowly settling. A sense of unease lingers like a fog, a testament to the confrontation that's just occurred. The jeweled crown now unclaimed, the ancient shield untouched, and the king's bones scattered. Well, let's see. Put the crown on my head and strap the, what is this? It's kind of magic shield, right? No, ancient shield. Strap the ancient shield to my arm. Jason, it was like this when I got here. It really was. It really was. You place the jeweled crown upon your head. It's cold metal, a stark contrast to the heat of the crypts. It settles atop your brow. You feel a subtle thrum of power, a whisper in the king's former glory, resonating with your own life force. Whether it's a boon granted by the fallen king or merely the latent magic of the crown itself, you sense that your authority in the realm of the dead has been bolstered. Next, you approach the ancient shield. It stands as a relic of defense, bearing the emblem of a kingdom lost to decay and memory. With a sense of respect for battles that have seen and survived, you strap it to your arm, feeling the weight of history in its battered surface. The shield fits perfectly, as if it were awaiting a worthy successor to carry it into battle once more. Cool. So I would say that's actually working pretty well. So that is more sophisticated than I think what we were able to get with Rabavania, but Robert obviously has a lot more sophisticated prompting and has been working on this for a while. So I think that is pretty cool. So now we know where we are able to get with this. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for sending this over. Let's see. All right. I want to see a couple of things. Let's go over this. I'm just going to just standard chat GPT. And I want to give it my world book. Can you read this? See, this is a world book for a role-playing game. Can you please read it and allow me to ask questions, and then allow me to ask you questions about it? So this is not built. This is not in its GPT builder. Ask questions about it. And I also have another thing I want to try while it's thinking about that. Let's. Okay, so it said that's the same kind of emblem it was using in the building the GPT. Okay. Now that would be cool. Now, but I'm writing the fact that none of that was hard coded in. I mean, the things that were right. I mean, that was the purpose of using this, right? Okay, it says the file is now open. Please feel free to ask any questions you have about the Rabavania World Book. Okay, so the first one I will ask. I got 3 separate questions. It got this one right last time. What religion are the damsels of the Holy Blood? Excuse me, of the Blood Royal. Oh, it didn't get it right this time. It says the search didn't return any results for the specific phrase religion of the damsels of the blood royal. This could be due to the way the information is phrased in the document. I can try a broader search instead, or look for related terms such as damsel, blood royal, or religion in separate searches to find relevant information for you. Well, yeah, sure, try that. Huh. So in the GPT builder, it got that answer right. It says there are no direct results for damsels in the document. That is not right. Well, that's so. I wonder what the difference is. Okay, so these experimentations are good. Given this, I can offer to manually browse the sections of the document where such information might typically be found. Well, yeah, do that. So it says, but of course you were able. It specifically talks about their religion here. Yes. Read the whole document in context. And tell me the religion of the damsels. It is an interesting fail. Okay, the damsels of the blood royal in Rabavania follow the Mirist religion. This religion emerged following a significant battle at Callan Mere, where the waters turned red with the blood of fallen rabbits. A powerful servant known as the Magus of the Mist, along with her 9 fair paw maidens, the damsels of the blood royal, appeared to the rabbit lords and shamed them for their violence. They introduced the rabbit lords to the mother of the Mere, a divine figure who wept for the fallen and whose heartbreak was felt by the rabbits, prompting them to kneel and worship her. This event marked the beginning of the Mirist religion in Rabavania. The damsels, dressed in white with golden trim and being of great virtue, were charged with finding a rabbit worthy of being crowned high king, one who would unify the kingdom and protect the faith of the mother. The Mirist religion flourished under the reign of High King Aiden, who was chosen and crowned by the damsel, the Magus of the Mist, and became the protector of the mother's faith. The Mirist faith is central to Rabavania, with the Mirite matriarchs later striving to uphold its values and traditions. Okay. I mean, that's obviously a longer answer than you need. So that time it found it. So what was the foul up there? So I gave. Can I ask questions about it? So it was able to do it when I said, please read this whole thing in context and tell the religion of the damsels. Okay, let me try this again. So I want to ask it this time. If the High King dies, if the High King of Rabavania who becomes High King? Let's see if we can figure this out. I didn't have to go through the other fails last time. This document doesn't appear to contain a searchable section on the specific succession rules for the High King of Rabavania based on the query Succession High King. This information might be contained within a broader context or specific chapter that isn't indexed by the search function under this term. To find this information, I will read through the document in a more linear fashion, starting with sections likely to discuss government and succession, such as those outlining the political system's laws or historical accounts of past successions. I will proceed with this and update you once I find the relevant details. Well, now it says in the event of the High King's death, Rabavania has a unique succession process. The damsels of the blood royal are charged with finding and crowning the High King, a role that is not automatically passed on through hereditary means. When the previous High King dies, the damsels must scour the land to find a rabbit worthy of unifying the kingdom and being a protector of the mother's faith. This process is considered sacred and is a testament to the Mirite religion's influence on Rabavanian government. Okay, the next question I was going to ask it is, what is the problem with finding the next High King? But it went ahead and seems to have answered that. However, the process faces challenges when the Magus of the Mist is missing, as she is traditionally involved in the crowning of the High King. In her absence, the Mirite matriarchs, who are typically preoccupied with their palatial duties and the preservation of the faith, are petitioned by the nobles to establish a new precedent for choosing the High King. The nobles suggesting a High King from among their ranks for the sake of power, rather than through traditional means led by the damsels. This suggests a tension between the pursuit of power among the nobility and the religious and cultural traditions that have historically guided the succession of the High King. Okay, so BGD says, the error you encountered is one of my big problems with ChatGPT. Sometimes it appears not to tell the truth and or ignores facts or specific qualifiers that are clearly presented to. Yeah, palatial. So yeah, so they're resembling a palace or being spacious and splendid. That's a reasonable answer, I think. Okay, so I think it has something to do with the prompt. So it was so by default in this mode, it's specifically trying to just run a direct query. Let me think of another question to ask it and see if I can get it to answer directly. Read the whole. I mean, I don't think you want to prompt this every time, but maybe something that you could add in. Read the whole document in context and tell me in a succinct one-sentence answer. Oh, I wonder if this is in the text. I think it is. Who the main goddess of the witches is. Well, courtly. I was taking that to mean just of and or of and relating to and or of being part of palace life. The main goddess of the witches is not. No, but see, then it came up with it. So I don't understand why it told me again. I will manually look through the document, focusing on sections likely to discuss deities, witchcraft, and other beliefs. Then it says, then it gets it right. The main goddess of the witches in Rabavania is the Morrigan, an entity that is associated with the witch sisters Balb, Malka, and Aldana, who are said to have passed into Rabavania from the other world, the land of Tir Duin. The Morrigan's witch sisters included witchcraft in the realm during the time of Clovis, and their practices have continued in certain covens within the land. That wasn't one sentence. And I wanted to skip all of that. Now, it did skip all of that when we were in the created GPT mode. So that's really interesting. But okay, it's taking it a bit, but it is finding it. BGD says proponents of the technology will apologize for ChatGPT, will argue that its errors are only a perception of the end user, and the system did in fact answer the question request as it was issued. Well, I would say that it did not. like I was trying to. It needs, but on the other hand, so that's a difference between this is in ChatGPT mode versus that build a GPT mode, because I didn't have that problem yesterday. So I'm glad I teased this out. Said let's just deal with one task at a time to help us build out what we want. Here's the world book. Can it answer? Because you might want to do it this way if you're just using it as a game master aid. Phaser Risk says, can it store document in its brain for later reference use, or just read them while they're open for it? I'm not exactly sure I'd answer that question. When we built we were in build a GPT mode yesterday, we could upload files for it to reference. So and now I'm just in conversation mode with it, which now, by the way, this is still really impressive. I mean, it did get the right answer. I mean, like 6 months ago, like I was saying, when I was building out a website for Rabbivania, I was like, oh, okay, I'm building out this really nice World Anvil website. It sure would be nice to be able to talk to World Anvil and get an answer to my questions. So now I actually can. At the moment, we got some weirdness in the beginning, but in the other mode, it was working. Yes, but that's not what palatial actually means. So, yeah, I don't think it might. Courtly might work. That's like arguing, of course, the program passed the Turing test. You just didn't hold up your end of the conversation. BGD says, I would argue that the system presents responses to queries or presents results from tasks, requests that are perceived as erroneous or illogical by the end user, then it ceases to be a useful tool, right? If it's not responding in the way that you're expecting it to, that's like, expected response, expected response with a UI or anything like that. If it's not doing what you're expecting it to do, and that's why sometimes when I'm demoing software here and the creators for the first time and I'm live streaming it, sometimes they've said, well, this is really interesting to see somebody try to use this for the first time, probably for that reason. Okay, so I do have a question. Okay, let's see if we can do this then. Let's say I want to create a character for the Tales of Rabbivania role-playing game. For the 5e DnD rule system, according to the rules for the rules in the world book. I want to create a rabbit knight and get its character sheet. Will you please guide me through the process of creating a Rabbivanian knight? Right. So yeah, this is a prompt thing. Okay, I know the world book might provide specific racial traits, abilities, backgrounds for rabbits and rabbit. It does. Well, so what was my prompt? According to the rules in the rule book. The knight background, if available in the world book, it is available in the world book. Okay, so I need to tell it, but if you didn't just know that, it should be reading that. Okay, I'll tell it that. I happen to know that knight and rabbit are in the rule book. That seems obvious. So, or in the world book, but I'm saying read the rule book, the world book again. I really don't have to tell it to read the world book every time. Read the world book again in context, and then to find the rules for creating rabbit knights, and guide me through the process of creating a character. It has to go back and reread it. So now I'm wondering what's going on. So this has happened several times. So maybe it's got like a quick reference, like a quick index, and then a deep dive. And so, yeah, Rabbit Knight character creation, like that phrase wasn't like a search result in the document. Okay, it's not just doing what I want. With at least with this prompting here. So it's not guiding me through and asking me I think what rolling up the stats and then applying the rabbit template and stuff like that. So it's not doing that. No, I did come up with war foxes. I'm supposed to be writing a war fox. Okay, so I want to try something else too. So that PDF, that PDF was just basically straight text. What if I do something more complicated? Okay, so I've got over here, it's Fate Accelerated. Okay, so what if I take the Fate Accelerated PDF, Fate Accelerated Edition PDF. This is the Fate Accelerated rule system right here. It seems like we referenced this quite a bit. What if I take the Fate rule book here, Fate Accelerated rule book, and I give it to it? Let's first ask it. Do you know anything about playing the game, the RPG game, Fate Accelerated? Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So it says yes. Okay. Here is the Fate Accelerated rulebook. Please read it in context and let's see what I want it to do. Well, I'll say, and prepare for a game set in the world of Rabavania. Oh, it's not letting me send that for some reason? I wonder why. Maybe too large a file? It's 5.7 megabytes. Let's share a link to the chat. I wonder if there is a. I'm gonna go down here for. just created GPT-3 chat. Is there a limit to the number of PDFs that can be uploaded to a single chat? Single chat GPT chat. There's no fixed limit. Is there a file size? That's not that big. Limit to the PDF I can upload. Somebody in the chat may already know what I'm doing wrong here. Let's see. It doesn't give you what you want, but it does it very quickly. So there's that. Robert says, I had to John Connor mine into in order to get it to function, or the Octavius listen to me method. Okay, it doesn't tell me there's anything weird about that. So why would I not be able to upload this? Fate Accelerated. Please read this document. Why are you not letting me upload a new PDF? .5 and more limited capacities. GPT Maker uses 4.0. Right, 4.0. I was wondering that too. Okay, so let's try something else. Let's try okay, let's try easy D6. Well, it's not letting me send that either. Huh. Okay. So that could be a limit. What other? I mean, I got tons of. Maybe it is. See, what other? I got not like I have a ton. Not like I don't have tons of PDFs over here. I wonder which one might be allowable to upload. Surely it's not going to let me upload GURPS. Well, who knows? Oh, that's a huge PDF. Huh. Okay, well, okay, let's just try then. Okay, so since you understand Fate Accelerated, you read the Rabavania World Book and create a Rabbit Knight character that fits all the characteristics of the knights and the rabbits in the rule book. And is adapted for Fate Accelerated. I bet this is not going to work. No, I know. I don't want you tell me how. I don't want you to tell me how to generate a character. I want you to create the character for me to play. Generate a rabbit knight using the Fate rules. Robert says keep prompts to 32K tokens. If a book PDF has too many words, it's likely to set disregard. Well, that could be if it determined, if it knew that, how many words, it could be that. I mean, I don't know how many words are in this book, but I mean, there are a lot of words in my Rabbivania rulebook. My Rabbivania, let me verify that because that seemed like a tremendous amount of words yesterday. Let me verify the number of words in the Rabbivania RPG primer, just so we know. Yeah. So I gave it a PDF with 18,087 words. So it was looking through 18,087 words. Okay, so now it did this. I'd better save that version. Let's see. So this does say, Sir Flopsy. Okay. High concept aspect, valiant rabbit knight of the thistledown thicket. This aspect represents Sir Flopsy's noble standing. Nobody in Rabbivania is called Sir Flopsy. This aspect reflects Sir Flopsy's noble standing and valor as a knight within the dense and dangerous thistledown thicket. That's true. In fact, we could run a test, and I'll open up another one. Well, no, we'll do that in just a second. This aspect reflects Sir Flopsy's noble standing and valor as a knight with the dense, dangerous thistledown thicket, a religion in Rabbivania known for its treacherous landscape and brave knights who protect it. Trouble aspect, bound by honor, haunted by past. Deeply committed to the chivalric code. Sworn protector of the other aspects, sworn protector of the Mirite faith, demonstrates his dedication to the faith central to Rabbivanian culture. There's no burrow too deep, no warren too complex. Highlights his determination and skill in navigating and strategy, relevant to his background as a rabbit and a knight. Careful, good, +3. Clever, +2. Flashy, +1. Forceful, +2. Quick, +0. Stunts, merest charge. Because I'm a sworn protector of the Mirite faith, once per session I can get a +2 when I forcefully attack an enemy that threatens the peace of the realm. Thistledown tactician. Because I hail from the thistledown thicket, I receive a +2 to cleverly create advantages when planning to approach a conflict or problem. Bunny hop. Because of my powerful rabbit legs, once per session, I can get out of a sticky situation by making a quick high leap to safety or a strategic position. I've got 4 stress boxes. My consequences. Well, all right. I mean, I think that's reasonable. Okay. Need to work on the names and things like that. But okay. Hey, let's run that test to see if I can upload something else. How can I help you here? Let's take a look at Fate Accelerated. I want you to read this document, this PDF rulebook of the Fate Accelerated RPG. And prepare to run a text-based adventure game based on its rules. Let's see if it'll take it. Oh. I get up. You got to go up here to 4. Nope. It does not allow me to send that message. So there is something else going on. Well, let me see. Let me make up my own PDF and just see if there's something else. Let me go. So it could be like a DRM issue or something like that. Oh, I tell you what. Okay. Wait, here's an idea. Let's go. I just wrote this short story. I want you to read it and then help me prepare an RPG world book guide for it. So let me see if I can give it the Trial of St. Gabriel. The Trial of St. Gabriel, front cover. Okay, here it is. All right, so I'm going to feed it this. I will start. Well, no, I can't upload it. Huh. So that is that's a 4.1 megabyte file. Maybe I've used all my abilities or credits or something like that. It seems like if that's true, then I mean, I don't know. It seems like it would tell me that, well, you've done everything you can do here. I'm on the $20. This is just the $20 a month Chat GPT. Wait. Now I can. By asking you some questions about it to be sure you understand the world. Was I being too impatient? Now that's interesting because that's a story. That's not a world book right there. Let me see if I can. Let me try that again. Fate accelerated. Maybe I'm just being impatient here. If that's the case, the user interface on these things are not great, because if that were the case, that it was still analyzing that PDF, I would have expected some type of graphical interface or graphical indication of that on the screen. So let me see. Fate. Let me try this one more time. I still also want to run a test of whether or not it understands battle maps. So that might take a little bit longer because that's a 5.7. Let's see. Sable says, is it just me, or is this virtual intelligence only really going to be useful and flexible once the idea of tokens is done away with? But can we do away with the idea of tokens? We just need more. I think tokens, that's what I think. Tokens are too central to the architecture to do away with them, but raising the number that can be handled might help. But we're just no, I'm not in GPT Maker. No, I'm not. I was intent. I need to go to the editor. But it says to upload PDFs. What file types can I upload to ChatGPT 4? Well, I should ask it, I guess. Let's go down here. Okay, now it lets me. Oh, okay. So now it does. So I guess it's an issue with preparing it and getting it ready to upload. Okay. Above, I just included. This is a PDF of the Fate Accelerated rulebook. Does read it contextually and tell me if the rabbit knight you generated conforms to all of its rules. If it does not, update the knight character. Okay, so I guess maybe I was just being impatient. All right, we'll see. I may have stopped it accidentally when I clicked over to the other one. At least we got something here. Yeah, the reason I was doing PDF is because all of the advertising material was telling me PDFs. And it's not like I don't have tons of PDFs. Okay, I wonder if it, so I wonder how different this one was. It does say the refresh, so it didn't have refresh. Oh, yeah, so it did say that, oh, I need to indicate the refresh. So I'm not exactly, I'd have to compare exactly what is different. Trouble, what is the trouble aspect? The trouble looks like it's two different aspects. But over here, yeah, okay, it's still the same. So it did come up with something that, oh, I needed to have a refresh. Okay, so yeah, so all right, so but I do want to ask it, what file types can I upload to you and have you read? You can upload text, so I can upload text files. I can upload PDFs. I can upload .docx's, JPEGs, PNGs with the ability to perform OCR, optical character recognition on text within the image if needed. If you have a different a file in a different format, you'll need to convert it to one of those above before uploading it here for assistance. So it can just take text files. I know that's terrible. That's terrible. I'd have to come up with so maybe what it needs is like some acceptable names of Rabivanians. It needs to know that. Okay. So no, but I want to see if it understands battle maps. Can you feed it something visual? Let me see. Right. That, yeah, I'm sure that's where it came from. I'll give it credit for the fact that Flopsy is a fictionalized rabbit name, though. Yeah, it got that. Let's see. Whoop. A D&D battle map. What is it going to do? Okay, battle map from Rune Foundry. All right, let's use them as an example. Okay, here, then let me ask, I want to read my, ask you about my story here, but also, okay, let's say, do you understand what this image is? If it is able to do spatial reasoning on it, that's going to be interesting because we want to, it did not source from Watership Down. So I'm going to send it this battle map. So that's what I sent it right here. Yes, it appears to be a digital illustration of a top-down view of a forest encampment scene, likely used for tabletop role-playing games, RPGs, such as Dungeons and Dragons. The grid overlay suggests it's designed for tracking movement and distances during gameplay. The encampment features tents, possibly a campfire with logs for seating, and surrounded by a variety of trees and shrubbery. This type of map would be used by game masters to set up an outdoor encounter or event within an RPG session. Okay, that does sound correct. I can't even pronounce that. Okay. I want to put tokens on this and see if it understands. So actually, what I need to do is I'm going to download that battle map, and I'm going to put some tokens on it. Like Hero Quest tokens or something. Let's see if I can do this in some reasonable amount of time here. Let's open this because I got the Hero Quest tokens I made up for the digital Hero Quest. All right, I'll open this over here in Adobe Illustrator. Barbarian token. Yep. Okay, icon. All right, so I'm going to slide Barbarian onto here. I'll change you over so you can see the to see what I'm doing in Illustrator. Might as well share this. There we go. All right, so now I got a Barbarian here. Let's see if it understands tokens. I'm going to resize the token so that it's about grid sized. I got a Barbarian there. Let's see. Let's say we need a elf. And we're going to be attacked. We got a Barbarian and an elf. And let's see if it understands the strategic situation. And then we're going to put some orcs around here too. So let's say some orcs are running out of the woods. Coming out of here. Yeah. And hey, let's also see if it understands like skeletons or something. So let's put some skeleton token. Over here. Experimentation on the morning grind. All right, skeletons coming up from over the path. Let's make them really surrounded and put chaos. Okay, chaos warriors over here. We need a dwarf. Female dwarf icon. All right. So our party is 3 people right here. And boy, are they surrounded. All right. We got 3 tents. So that's the tent for each one of them. Okay, that works. So let's export this and give this to ChatGPT and see if it understands. Desktop forest encampment test. What do you think? If we go into this with low expectations, we can't be disappointed. Okay. Let's see. How are you going to update the positions? Like, how are we going to figure out how to update that's going to be the hard part. Otherwise, I mean, well, assuming this works at all. But even if it doesn't work, let me take this down and go back to Chat GPT. But it would need to understand, like, if it had a camera and it could track your miniatures, that would be amazing. Let's see. All right, so take a look at this updated. Take a look at this updated map. What do you see? We'll just ask it if it understands what the changes were. Have to wait. So there we got the updated map with the characters fighting orcs and skeletons and chaos warriors. It's kind of cool that it can see. Shows the same as before. But this time there are tokens on the map. Okay, these tokens are often used in tabletop RPGs to represent characters or creatures. There are tokens that seem to represent orcs or goblin-like creatures on the left, a pair of what could be human adventurers or characters near a campfire, and tokens with skull images on the right, which might represent enemies or perhaps undead creatures. This setup suggests a scene of an encounter or battle to take place or in progress within the game. What kind of creatures? What kind of creatures? Okay, we'll say, what if I tell it? What if I tell it? The green tokens are orcs. The skull tokens represent skeletons. There are also 3 helmet tokens on the left that represent chaos warriors. A barbarian, the red tokens indicate the party, the adventuring party. The barbarian, there is a barbarian, I'll say a male barbarian, female elf, and female dwarf. Could we run this battle encounter? I have no idea. Sable says, doesn't understand what a chaos warrior is supposed to be. This is pretty neat. I mean, we are certainly getting places. We are understand for a certain value of understanding, right? Yes. But yeah, so we're getting someplace. We're getting someplace. We may not be completely there yet, but it's important to understand where we are. Okay, it wants to establish the rules. Okay, all right, okay. Okay, let's use DnD. Oh man, DnD 5e for this example. Well, let's just ask it some questions. Well, maybe I need to come. Can a chaos warrior Roll for initiative. Roll initiative for all characters. Okay, let's just roll initiative for all characters. All right. Oh, regenerate. La-da-da. We may have to see if it can make a world book from the story tomorrow. I've got to get the two things. Lynn says, since it can handle images, maybe it can use the blank map as a reference and rearrange the tokens from the second map as needed into a new image each turn. Because it can also generate images. Like, that's what I was wondering. That seems really sophisticated. It may be more sophisticated than DALL-E, because it's using DALL-E to create the image. And it didn't seem like DALL-E, at least as it was instantiated, DALL-E 3, as it was instantiated in this system, had a whole lot of sophisticated controls. So it might not be able to do that. But if you could do in painting, you could remove one from some location. It seems like a long shot. Like if it were, I don't even know if it understands grid coordinates, because you could tell it to update grid coordinates on this. All right, we're still analyzing here. Did I apply for Grok? I don't remember if I didn't, I will, to get it on the beta on Grok. If I didn't, I will. Come on. Oh, there we go. Oh, it didn't do it. Oh, no, there we go. The initiative orders for the character is skeletons are going on 20, male barbarian going on 17, orcs are going on 15, elf 13, ties broken by the DM or additional modifiers 5, orc also 5 orcs are going on 13. Oh, orc 4. Oh, I thought that was saying skeletons 3. I don't know which one's orc. Well, it's counting them, telling you that orc number. How many orcs do I have in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Orc number 5. Oh, I only got 4 orcs. Okay. Well, we've been going for over an hour and a half here. So I tell you what, I think this is a really good series. I think there's more stuff that I want to do because I want to see if it can understand my story and try to create a world book from it, or assist in creating a world book. And I want to go further with seeing what it can do with running this game here. So there's more experiments to be done, and then building on a new GPT, trying to understand this, understand what it knows and its functionality. So lots of stuff to do today. So I got to get back to work. So I've got to get out of here. But remember also this afternoon, if you want to talk about good and evil and storytelling, Cameron and I will be the replaying at an hour and 10 minutes. I will not an hour and 10 minutes, 110 minutes. I will be over here at that link I just put in. I'll be in the chat. Cameron and I will be having a conversation. It's not a live chat. It's a replay of a chat that we had, because I'm moving the chat over to the video over to the new Table Talk channel. So it will re-air right there, but I will be in the chat live if you want to talk about that. But otherwise, we'll continue with this tomorrow. This has been really interesting. So we will continue to see what we can do with ChatGPT and D&D. I will see everybody, if not in the chat this afternoon, tomorrow morning. Everybody, please do like the stream. Please like the stream, whether you're here live or if you are here on replay. Really been enjoying it. Talk to you later. Bye, everybody. Go be creative, be constructive, and be productive. Later, everybody.